Good morning, hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to go through and separate out all of these little seedlings. These are my jalapeno plants. I like to grow them this way because sometimes all the seeds don't come up, don't always have the best germination. Sometimes the seeds are bad, sometimes it's the wrong environment, but I do it this way to save space and time at the beginning. Space and soil at the beginning, because when you're starting your seedlings, if you go through and it's like, okay, I want to have 10 jalapeno plants, and you go through and you set up 10 pots, that's just that much space and that much soil that you're going to be using at the very beginning when they may not sprout up. So what I like to do is I just put a whole bunch in one and I wait to see how many are coming up. As you can see, they kind of started to fry. It got really hot in here the other day. It was like 110 degrees because I didn't open up the window. Whoops. But they're just starting to get crowded in here. Normally, you would want to wait until their first true set of leaves come in, but I'm just going to try really hard to be careful not to do too much to the plants, the roots themselves, as I'm transplanting them, because they're so sensitive at this stage. As you can see here on this one, it's just starting to get its first true set of leaves. These are just the first leaves that pop out when they come out of the seed. These are the seed leaves, and they're a little bit stronger after they have that true set of leaves, and it's a little bit more of a better survival rate, if you will, when you're transplanting them, if they make it that much taller, that much bigger, because they're stronger and the plants are ready to go into the next stage of vegetation, essentially, where they start absorbing more sunlight and the nutrients. But like I said, they're starting to get so tall, they're getting kind of dangly, and so I'm just going to be very gentle, and I'm going to go through and transplant these. Okay, so these are all the pots that I'm going to be using. I went ahead and I just rinsed them all off. They're just a hard plastic. I reuse them every year. Some of them kind of have some extra holes in there, but it's fine for what I'm doing. I'm choosing to use these bigger pots because I don't want to have to transplant these again before they go out into the garden. I am still probably 2 months away from putting these in my garden to where they will survive the nights. Peppers definitely like warmer soil, and I don't want to put them out there too early and have them obviously die before we can even really get going in my garden season for the area. I'm in 7B, so that way I know they're good in my greenhouse for that long, and they have the space to grow, and there'll be enough nutrients in here. I won't have to pot them again. So the next time I work with these plants, it'll be to put them in the ground out in my garden. So I'm gonna go ahead, I already washed all these. I'm going to fill them up with soil, and then I'll show you how I separate the seedlings as carefully as I can. As you can see, maybe there, I've already watered them, so the soil is really wet, and I like doing it that way just because it makes it a little bit easier to separate them, in my opinion. But I'll show you that in a minute. Let's fill these pots up. So let's go ahead and separate these out, and I think you can see here, I'm just gonna put them all on the table here, and I'm just gonna gently start separating them. I'm trying very careful not to disturb the roots too much. As you can see, the soil is really wet, and it's just kind of falling apart. That's why I do that. So there's one. I'm just gonna lay them out very gently. Come on, baby. Definitely want to take your time when you're doing this. You don't want to disturb the roots too much if you want the plants to live. That was just extra soil. And some of these still may not survive just because, for one, sometimes not all plants make it. And two, because I am separating them kind of early. See, like this one's probably fine. This one, that's its first true set of leaves. While they're not super big, they are starting to develop. Just gonna lay them out all nice and gently here. See how many I have? I showed you those pots that I want to use, or I am using. I already washed them out to transplant all of these in, and it looks like I have quite a few jalapeno starters in here. So I'm probably gonna end up, because I don't want to use all of these pots that I have, because I do have tomatoes. I need to do the exact same thing with my tomatoes. Here, I'll show you. Okay, these are my tomatoes. I did the exact same thing. These are my giant pinks. So I need to go through and separate all those out as well. And this is the point in the season in my greenhouse where it gets really full really fast, because like I said, it's not really big. And I only have so much space in here. See, like this one may not make it. I might double up that one. Like I might just put all of these ones that look kind of sad in their own pot and just survival of the fittest. See which ones make it, or if any of them do. But anyways, this is the time in my greenhouse that it fills up really fast because it's not very big and I only have so much space and so many tables to put out. And I have one whole rack still full of broccoli plants. I still have, I don't know, 12 to 15 more broccoli plants that I need to go out and plant. I got too tired and I didn't finish them. So they've been living in the greenhouse for now. And so I need to go find somewhere to plant those out in my garden. So that could free up some space, but these pots take up a lot of space in here. So a lot of them will end up just going on the ground, but that's okay. Do what we got to do, right? Okay, next step. So let's see, how many do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So I have 20 plants right here. And this is what they look like. And they have little clumps of soil on them. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to take that soil off. You don't need to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just carefully plant it in each one of these pots now. I'm not planting them super deep. They're not like tomatoes where they re-root off the stem. But I want them deep enough where they're not going to tip over and fall. Like, I'm not just going to set it in there like this when I go to water them. But I'll just make a tiny little hole, kind of cover them up, try to kind of stand it up. And just let the roots redevelop in here. And then as it continues to grow, it'll get stronger. But I'm not planting them super deep, but just deep enough to where they're going to stay. And I'm pushing down just a little bit around the plant to help keep it upright. But you don't want to compact the soil and make it harder on the plant whatsoever. We want to make this easy for the plant to survive. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. Just nice and easy. There's plenty of room in this pot now for this plant to grow and thrive. I'll find a spot for it over here on the ground for now. I'll have to come out and rearrange. I'm not exactly in a hurry, but I'm trying to fit in things where I can today. I've kind of been running around doing errands and stuff in town already this morning. I have a birthday party that I need to go to here in about an hour. And then I have other plans this afternoon that I'm wanting to get some things done. So I'm just going to try to get all this done now. And I'll water these because all this soil is dry. I just watered the plant before I separated the seedlings. This is dry. I'll water all these and get them all set up, and then I'll come back out here another time and like reorganize everything. But just do what we can, right? Right. And that is what I'm going to do for all of these. Let's get it done. I'm going to save the smaller ones for the solo cups. So I think I only washed 10 of these big ones. So all the smaller ones I'll end up putting in solo cups, and maybe I'll gift those to people. I'm not sure that I need 20 jalapeno plants. And these pots I'd like to add, I didn't exactly fill all the way to the top, if you didn't notice that. This is going to be more, this is more than enough space for these seedlings. Especially for the next month or so. There's more than enough nutrients in here, but like, see, this one's not even filled up all the way, and that's totally fine. Okay, so that was already 10. So let's go put all of these other tiny little guys in just solo cups like this. Okay, so these are also ones that I used from last year. So like last year I had lettuce in these. Oh, that didn't help. Not sure if you can see. So like there, and there's a couple on the bottom. If you use solo cups, or you're repurposing any cups for your seedlings, you need to make sure that they can properly drain. The plants, the seedlings, they won't do well in soggy soil, and it's really easy to overwater them if you're not careful, especially if they're super deep like this, because you can go through and feel the top and it might be dry, but a lot of the water might still be down here, especially without proper drainage holes. It'll just sit at the bottom. So all of these have holes popped into them. These ones do not, so I'm gonna have to go through and pop some holes in them. I like to just use a thumbtack. It makes it really easy. Just you go through and use scissors or a knife, you can tend up to like ruin the cups because it's just easy to make big stab holes in them, but you do you and whatever's easiest for you. But I'm gonna go get a thumbtack. I don't know if I have one out here so I can pop some holes in these solo cups, but I have 6 ready. I still need a few more to plant the rest of these. And like I said, as you can see, like I just use a permanent marker on this. So what I'll do is I'll just cross it out and then rewrite what this is. And then for my other ones, I can do that. I think there's a couple black ones in there. I do have these tags. In some of my other videos I've mentioned, I don't like using plant tags because they wear down. I don't like relying on them. But like by the time I get them out in the garden, I know where everything is going to be planted. So I don't need plant tags when I'm out in the garden. But when I'm in the greenhouse, sometimes I tend to come out and just rearrange things. And then that's where I have a problem, is because, okay, I'm like, is that a sweet pepper? Is that a jalapeno? Is that an Anaheim? Like, I don't know what kind of pepper it is. And I do kind of like to have things organized a certain way in my garden. So for now, I might use these. If some of the black containers, I only have a black permanent marker. The green ones I can just write on just like this, but I'll probably use these. Now let's go ahead and finish this up. Like I said, I'll just re-gift these to family or friends. That is how I separate my seedlings out. That is just how I prefer to do it. Like I said, I do them with my other peppers and tomatoes. I even do it with squash plants. Just makes it easier for me to like, oh, okay, these are all, 5, 10, 15, 20 great seedlings. Now let's go ahead and separate them into their own pots so now they can thrive individually. And especially if you're busy like I am, when you want to start plants, it just makes it really easy to do it all in one pot to begin with. And then you just know that you'll have to make time, like I am right now, to make sure you separate the seedlings out so they will thrive. Because they can't stay in a pot like that forever. They'll drown each other out, fight over the nutrients, and they just won't be healthy plants. But for just starting out, it works really well for me. Let's go ahead and put them away now. So here are what they all are looking like now. I'm just gonna set them on the ground for now in my greenhouse. They'll be fine in here. If you didn't see my little heater setup, I have another video of how I set that up so that it stays about 60 degrees in here, and I don't have to worry about any of my plants dying on those really cold nights that we've been getting here and there. Like I said, I'm in 7B. I'm a ways out before I can plant anything outside, but I like to get a head start on things. I have a lot of things that I like to do here on my homestead, so doing little things here and there when I can makes it a lot easier for me when it comes time for garden season. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.